If you want to change how people treat you, you have to change how you allow them to treat you. And what I'm going to share with you in today's video is very simple and very easy to do. And I'm going to also explain to you why you allow certain treatment from people and why you continually tolerate it. I'm going to use some of my past experiences, as I like to, as much as possible, share my life with you and how I have been able to transform how people will now only treat me and show up for me. But before I go into that, I am Natalie, for those of you that are new, and for those of you that are coming back, it is so lovely to have you here. Your continued support on my channel really means so much to me. If you like my channel and my videos, then it would be lovely if you could click that subscribe button and also know so you don't miss out on further videos. Remember that bell icon too. I offer lots and lots of coaching solutions, from one-to-one sessions with me, self-study courses and programs with me, where we dive deep into releasing those traumas and those limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck, so you can finally have the life that you have always wanted, and even better. I do have a free Facebook group where you can put your manifestation questions and get free support from the group too, and my super amazing members only channel called the Badass Manifestor Community, and all the details to everything that I offer. Oh, and also I do have an Instagram account and a TikTok account too. And again, you can find all of this in that one simple link below the video. Okay, so let's get to it. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is why you allow people to treat you in a way that is no longer serving you. Now, the simple answer is because you have always allowed it. Now, maybe you are now only becoming aware of this. Maybe you woke up one morning and just had enough. Maybe you are going through your awakening stage of your spiritual journey. Whatever it is, if you are recognizing people not speaking to you or treating you the way that you now realize that you deserve and would prefer, it is because you have always allowed them to do it. And the only reason why it is standing out more clearly now is because something is changing within you that is screaming to you that this is no longer acceptable. This is not acceptable anymore. Sit with this for a moment, because what I have just shared here is pretty big. People treat you this way because you have always allowed them to. You see, this then creates a pattern of how they then always, or more often than not, show up to you. This is the pattern. And until that pattern breaks, it will continue. And they will think that actually this is okay. But now, because for whatever reason you are becoming more aware of this, whether this is with one person or a variety of people, you are recognizing that this is no longer acceptable for you. That actually what you are saying here is not only are you worth more, but you have value. And when you are walking around this planet in your programmed mindset, which has been formed on past beliefs and experiences, even before you were born, that have been ingrained in your mind, or an energy field that negative beliefs are true for you, then you are showing up in a way that is actually not you, not your truth. And let's say you have a belief that something in your life is better than nothing, or maybe you have always been treated this way by people, so it feels familiar, and so therefore it is something that you accept. Maybe you fear people leaving, which also stems from your childhood. You won't know that this is happening because you don't know the difference between what is your programmed mind or the true you yet. So now you are elevating, you're becoming more aware of how you are being treated. You recognize that you have been handing over your power to people, which basically means you are saying, I give you permission to treat me as you wish, in a roundabout way. Maybe there is a pattern with people that only want you around in their life if you play the role that they are only used to experiencing from you. Maybe they don't actually like you. Now, I said earlier a very powerful word, and that is familiar. The word is familiar. It's the familiarity of how you are being treated and why you do not walk away, or why you let people go is, as I said, is because you are scared. Now, maybe it is more fear of being rejected if you stand up for yourself, or if you've pulled your energy back, that actually they won't want you anymore. Maybe you have had past experiences before that have taught you not to stand up for yourself because you've been rejected. Maybe you are very fearful that they won't like you, that they will not want to be your friend, and that creates massive triggers within you, inside of you, and fills you with anxiety and dread. Maybe you have been taught to put up and shut up, and as I said, at least you have someone in your life. But you see, the truth is that they are not even seeing the real you, because you're not being the real you. You are being the version of you that is programmed to be this way, you see. So them treating you the way that they have is not them actually treating the true you the way that they have, but you're programmed you. Now, most of my life, until I finally chose me, my value and my worth, whilst I was in that elevating myself period, also known as the journey to self-love, I was allowing all types of treatment from people, horrendous treatments from women, men, friends, strangers, family members, romantic partners. You see, I knew how I was being treated was not how I wanted to be treated, but I kept thinking, if I just tried harder, if I did this, if I said that, and sharing this with you all is pretty hard because it was never ending for me. And I know this is going to be the same for some of you too. I allowed such bad treatment from people for so long. Honestly, I would sometimes stand up for myself and I would then get rejected by people. So I learned mostly not to, because I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to be the odd one out with no friends. I didn't want to be the one that had no one, or the one that was left. Even though I knew deep down inside of me, they didn't care about me, I couldn't let them go. Before I go into the why I couldn't let them go, and why I know some of you will be feeling this too, I want to share just how low my self-worth was then, and just how powerful taking your power back and loving yourself is. Now, I'm going to share something now that I have only shared with a few clients, and this happened years ago. I met someone very toxic, very, very toxic. They did drugs, they lied, they cheated, and they would get angry with me, and it would scare me. They were very inconsistent. And if I ever stood up for myself, I would get screamed at and spoken to so badly. And it got so bad at one point that this person would hold me down by my throat. And if I did something wrong, that would happen again. And I would catch him looking at other women a lot in such a way that he would be flirting with them and then looking over at me and smiling, a horrendous smile towards me. And then one day we were in town after a party and he punched me in my head and I went flying. Now, obviously, I got the police involved. And even with that, I still wanted to see the good in him that he showed me in the beginning of the relationship. But you think that's bad, which obviously it is. The following day, I remember calling someone that had been a friend for years, for a very long time. We'd been growing apart a little bit, but I really felt like she was somebody that I could turn to. And when I told her I had been hit and I was very upset on the call, this was her response. Not everyone is going to fancy you, Natalie. And I still wanted her to be my friend. Obviously, no longer is she in my life, but I just couldn't accept someone could be so heartless. I was always wanting to see the good in people, you see. I wanted relationships to work because I would always blame myself if they didn't. That was my pattern of growing up. I was always being blamed or told to shut up and so on. Now that's a big share. And when I look back on that friendship, there was so many good times, but so many red flags that I was ignoring, and it was very unbalanced. So why? Why do we stay when we get treated so badly? Why do people keep treating us so badly? In my experience, I stayed because I was fearful of being rejected. And I would blame myself for how they were treating me, like it was my fault because there was something wrong with me. Through my awakening and my elevating myself through my journey to healing and self-love, I've had to deal with the traumas that have come from how I allowed myself to be treated. So some people on my channel ask, why am I single? Am I single? I wasn't ready for 3 years. I've been putting the energies into me, falling in love with me, building a business to help you all, because that was more important to me than any man being in my life. And I am now only finally ready to see what is out there and to be brave enough to let somebody in. But fundamentally, I had a hell of a lot of trauma and healing to do. And I was not going to rush that for someone to come into my life. And for the first time in my life, it had to be about me. So when you are seeing your worth and value, when you are becoming more aware of how you are being treated, know that you are being treated this way because you are allowing it, because of the beliefs that you have about yourself and others, and for what is familiar to you. What you are doing is you are playing out similar and familiar dynamics with how people based on how you were treated as a child, and even just in how your mum and dad showed up, how they were with each other, with people. And you see, and the cycle continues because it is ingrained. And it's a habit that keeps going round and around and around. And when you become aware of these patterns, you can shift your energy and you can train yourself to think, act, and believe differently. Now, sometimes it can even go beyond when you were born, that you are carrying on an ancestral energy. And this is all something that we deep dive in with my 5-week ultimate transformation program and the 6-week breakthrough program to your dream life. We break this cycle of belief, and through a timeline regression and through the subconscious mind, we understand who you truly are. And with a daily self-love practice, you will become this version of you, the truth of you, and you will let go of that old programming. And if or when anything occurs that is not wanted, you will no longer hold on to it or accept it. You will learn from it. And you will also be so self-aware of these energies, you see, of who you are, that you will no longer want any other treatment, only the way that you deserve to be treated now. And if people leave, great. And if people stay, great. The wanted ones that treat you with how you will only now allow, great. But either way, you will have trained yourself to know that you are enough with or without anyone or anything. You are enough. And nothing less will be acceptable anymore. Now, forgiving was a huge part of my journey because I no longer hold on to anything or anyone that has ever done anything to me. Now, I know that was for me to learn to love myself now too, but I need you to know the more you can forgive and let that go, the easier, the more free you are, the more you are taking your power back. So to wrap this up, people will only treat you the way you allow them to treat you, and because it feels familiar to experience this treatment. So it is time. If you want to change and you want to create a healthy life for yourself, healthy relationships, and to uncover the true you, it really is time to wake up to this. Now, I only have kind, loving people in my life, and there is no room for anything less. No room. It's just not happening. I am too aware, you see, and I understand that you can take your power back and you can change in how you relate to people, how they relate to you. You can change your inner frequency. And yes, while some people may not like it or they leave, you will be letting go of the old version of you, and you will be embodying this new, the truth of you, who you were always supposed to be. You will be breaking any ancestral energy dynamics and so much more. And you will be creating space for who does deserve to be in your life. And because you will have elevated, you will only attract more of who you are now becoming. So I really hope this has helped you. If this is something you are experiencing, I truly hope that this has helped. And I truly hope it is going to get you on the path to uncover the true you and to no longer allow less than what you deserve and taking your power back. And if you want to find out more about the programs that I've talked about here, then just click the links below this video, guys. Sending you so much love. Please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will be back very, very soon.